Welcome to Chatting with Chuck. I'm your host, Chuck. Today I have a special guest, Mr. Cheney Ho, co-founder and executive board director of FinTech. Cheney has a wealth of knowledge in industrial automation, and today we're going to discuss the IoT and its growth opportunities. So Cheney, what kind of growth of the IoT do you see in the United States?
Okay, so people start to talking about IoT, Internet of Things, only start from year 2010. So the fundamental of IoT is Internet as a backbone. And then through the Internet and through the sensor, you connect everything together, which will create a more intelligent service for people, no matter in a factory or in our daily life. So I think United States is the most advanced technology country. So all the internet, all the sensor tech mainly came from US. But in terms of the application of the IoT, I see United States still a little behind in application.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the application of the IoT in the manufacturing side, in the hospital, in the transportation is still not so much. But I believe the IoT is original from US, and United States will catch up that very soon, because I see there are some change recently.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, Cheney, so what about the United States and China when it comes to trade? Do you see a conflict in that?
Okay, it's a long story. Actually,
Yeah.
China was benefit from the globalization since 1989.
Right.
So when the Berlin Wall fell down, so more than 2 billion young workers joined the economic construction of the world.
Right.
So the emerging country like China, like India, like Brazil, like Russia become very, very competitive because they have a lower wage. So from that you see many manufacturers move to China from US, from Taiwan, from Hong Kong, from Korea, from Japan, to enjoy the lower labor cost.
Right.
And in the past 10 years, China become the biggest factory, the oil factory in the world.
Right.
So in year 2016, they took 25% of the total manufacturing portion of the world. So China is the number one in manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, all the goods produced in China, like iPhone, iPad, or all the computer, notebook, are mainly sell back to United States,
Mm-hmm.
which create a big trade deficit.
Right.
So in year 2016, the trade deficit between China and the US is about 360 or 70 billion US dollar. It's huge.
Right.
The total trade deficit of United States last year is about 500 billion.
Right. Right.
And which China took about 70% of the trade deficit. And more important is I think that create a threat to United States, not because of the trade. And behind the trade is they catch up on technology, and even China don't respect the IP, the intelligent property, and they impose many policies in China to subsidize the cost of their manufacturing,
Right.
so make them more competitive. And also they don't allow the Facebook or Google to be landing in China to protect their Alibaba and their Tencent,
Right.
this kind of internet company. So it's the trade conflict between China and the US is more than the trading.
Right.
It's kind of the total conflicts in trading, in technology, in many respects, including the culture. So China set up a lot of Confucius Institute
Right.
around the world.
Right.
Actually, they try to export not only good, but they try to export the influence culture to the global.
Right.
So I think I be honest, from Taiwanese people, I think this because China is not friendly at all to Taiwan. They claim Taiwan is part of China. So from as a Taiwanese point of view, I think I'm very happy to see Trump. No matter he's Trump or other, now the Western world needs someone to stand up to tell China, you are doing wrong. You
Right.
shouldn't continue to do that. We should have a fair trading rule environment.
Right.
Okay, you cannot subsidize your enterprise. You cannot steal the IP from the Western world. So I think that's a good thing. And I wish after that, the war, no matter China or Europe or US, everyone can compete based on the fair rule. And that is the more fair to every people in the world.
Do you see Taiwanese enterprises benefiting from this?
I didn't say that. I didn't
Yeah.
say that because Taiwan is very small. We only have a 23 million population. Our
Right.
GDP is only about 600 billion. Compared to you are 20 trillion and China have a 12 trillion. Taiwan is still
Small.
very small. What I think we have a very low profile barrier is that we can feed our 23 million people have a good life. So all the Taiwanese still working very hard. We try to be innovate. We trying to be a good friend to all the country,
Right.
all the free countries. So we are a democratic country. We have the freedom to speech. So we really like to protect our lifestyle. We don't want to become belong to a country that control everything.
Okay.
Doesn't have freedom. So Taiwan definitely, I think, if after this trade conflict and the war will become more fair, that is good for Taiwan.
Good one.
Yes.
Right. So tell me, Cheney, what's FinTech strategy in the United States then?
As you know, FinTech is we are a IPC company in
Right.
the past 30 years, but we transform ourselves from a IPC company to become a IoT company since the year 2010. So we providing the solution, not the hardware, but also software and solution to the customer in manufacturing and in hospital, in transportation.
Right.
So our strategy in the United States is we want to really provide our excellent products, high quality product, and also our software, our middleware, our solution to the customer in United States to help all of the manufacturing in US to improve their productivity, their quality, and also their profitability. So in a way, the making in American can compete with making in China. So I think Advantech has a very good position to support US manufacturing to become competitive.
That sounds
Yeah.
great. What about expansion or investment US? Do you see that happening?
Yes, currently we have employed about 600 high quality employee professional in US. We have an office in Milpitas, in South California, in Irvine, in Milpitas, and also here in Ohio, Cincinnati,
Right.
and also in Chicago. So we will continue to invest, to invest more headcount, more job, create more job, because we see a very strong growth. In US, we have continued 3 year in row, have a 24% growth in the past 3 years. So we are able to add on more headcount, employ more professional here to expand our business. And also we are considering to have a second assembly line in this region.
Right.
Okay, for example, in
That'd be great.
Ohio or in Illinois or in Arizona, we are still under evaluation. But in a way, we can provide the customer in the central and the eastern part of the U.S. Because the main operation of Advantech now is in Western Coast in California.
Right.
But we need to also provide a better service by have a second assembly line here, and also have a technical support center for all the advanced manufacturing in U.S. That's our plan.
That's
Okay.
great. Well, Cheney, I thank you for taking time to discuss the IoT and Advantech's plans. This has been very informative and it's an interesting discussion. This has been Chatting with Chuck. I'm your host, Chuck. Please stay tuned for further episodes.